Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining in today. We're going to keep going on our drawing as we've been doing. Look back in the video feed line. Got a few announcements first, though. Of course, we'll talk about Skits, The Sun, Book 1. Go on over and get on the mailing list. We're going to be coming up and launching in the spring, which is coming up really, really fast. So if you like everything that you've been seeing, go ahead and check us out. Get on there because we're going to have some free goodies, and we're also going to have some discounts on day one of the launch. So come check it out. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's just go ahead and drop down into here. Already got some people in the chat. Got Chris Evans saying hello, sir. Well, hello, Chris Evans. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. There we go. Again, you need the link. It's right there on the screen. Indiegogo. Come get on the list. And just trying to take care of a couple of things here before we get started, guys. So if we go back over what we did last time, I'm gonna try and pay more special attention to the chat today. My wife tells me that I keep missing things, and it's tough, you know. It's like I'm trying to talk, trying to draw, and trying to pay attention to the chat all at the same time. It's hard work, but we're gonna try and do a little bit better today. So let's see where we end up. So last time we focused on the elephant. You know, I told everyone, I was like, well, I don't really know what an elephant looks like. I just kind of drew it out of my head, and then going back, I realized that I had all sorts of things that were messed up with the elephant. So we went ahead and fixed those things. And then I went and something was still bugging me. So I went back and looked even more and started looking at the way the elephant's legs bend and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, man, I am all over the place. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Look at this leg, how it bends here. You know, it's almost like an arm, a human arm or something like that, but it's not very typical of what I was used to. You know, if we go back to what I had before, I had big old floppy dog ears, and I think that's kind of what I did on this, is I had dog legs. But anyway, we'll get into fixing that a little bit here. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to focus on a little bit more backgrounds, and we're also going to start drawing in the rest of our foreground. You know, we had a rough idea of what we wanted to put in right there, but I'm just going to go back. Let's grab a brush. Put a little spacing on it like I normally do. And bam, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to actually focus on working on some of that foreground stuff. And what I'm probably going to do is I'm not going to draw it exactly where it should be necessarily, but I'm going to kind of bring it in. So we're going to have a human head just somewhere right in here. And maybe, I think I'm going to, I can always move it down, but let's just go ahead and let's move it up a little bit. Yeah, let's just get rid of the elephant altogether for right now. Let's just move this up, and let's just focus on that element right there, just drawing it. So we're looking at the back of the head here. You know, got the shoulders. Go ahead and pull in some shoulders there. We got the neck. Let's see here. Right like that. And the character that we're going to be drawing here is more of a native inhabitant of the planet. So they're going to have a different look to them for sure. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do something like this, where we got the arm down in here, and it's holding the spear. Let's see where our elephant is. Okay. Maybe the spear comes across him like that, because I kind of want that hand in there, right? Put that hand in there. And I'm just going to draw it all out first before I start blocking in too much. Maybe this character has the same type of spear. Maybe a little something different. Maybe we got something where it's like it's got a top here, and then some spikes here. That'd be kind of neat. Never go wrong with too many spikes, you know. Spikes are awesome. Spikes are cool, right? So let's do something like that. Maybe maybe we need to turn the head just a little bit so we get a little bit of a side profile. That'd be a little more interesting, right? That. So the nose would get a little bit of a side nose and a cheek, and then down and around. And that kind of comes over here like so. Now, native inhabitants. I've done some sketching and whatnot for these guys, but I don't want to give away too much. So I'm just going to go from memory how I know these guys look from my sketching. And they have like neck guards around them because they keep them up over their mouth almost. And then they have these bits to them, and this is part of their natural heads. So just kind of work with that. Right. Then they have some markings on them too. We'll have that coming around. Maybe the pose needs to be a little more dynamic here, where maybe they got a hand out with a knife or something. Let's see how we feel about that. Bam. So they're like ready to attack, and it's at an angle. So we're going to see this arm real close, and then this one's going far away. That'll be nice. Yeah. All right. Let me go in here and do a little bit of erasing. Yeah. Erase out a little bit of this here. There we go. So we can kind of come back in here and know what we're doing. Don't really need all that underneath stuff once we get it to a certain point. I just need that to rough stuff in, you know. So there we go. All right, that goes like that, and then that comes down in here. Like so. Yeah, it's kind of neat. All right, maybe we'll need to make them just a tiny bit smaller though. So let's just go ahead and do that. Let's make them a little bit smaller. But see, that's the beauty with working on the computer is you can actually change the size in here. So I'm gonna do that. Select. Put that brush back in there. Okay. Yep. So bam. More dynamic here. Coming down. Then he's probably gonna go into a stance like so, because of the way his head's shaped and whatnot. Okay. So I'm thinking something like that might be a little more interesting. Yeah. And again, I'm just going to draw them roughly in here. And then we'll come back in here and do a little more with them. But we just need to get them kind of roughly in there, and then we can work from there. Get a little drink here. If anyone has some questions for me, just drop it in the chat. Don't be afraid to say hey. This. There we go. Yeah, just trying to make the guy's shape a little more interesting here. Sometimes you just got to play around with things until you get something that's interesting. And it's gonna be tough because this guy right here, how we're drawing him, it's like a back shot, so you don't get all those interesting things that you normally would in a drawing when you see their front. It's a lot more relatable. So that's why I'm just sort of playing around with it a little bit here so I can get some sort of interesting shot. There we go. Let's get that knife there. There we go. And I'm also just kind of looking at my own hands and trying to figure out exactly how this would look, the knuckles and everything. So that's something that you always got to pay attention to and get your anatomy to be somewhat believable, even though it's an alien character. You still want it to be relatable and believable, right? Let's see here, something like that, an angle. Yep. That hand there. Something like that. Yep, I'm sort of liking that right there. We've got a couple of people saying hey in the chat now. We got Black Star saying hello to everybody. Just made it. Also got Verse Films saying hey. Appreciate y'all for showing up. Kim, this is a little tedious stuff going on right here. He's ducked down, but maybe what I need to be doing here, I'm just gonna select it. It's a lot easier just to select it and move it. Maybe what we'll do is we'll move his head up just a smidge so that he's looking up more at the elephant. That'd probably be smart. What do y'all think? I think so. I think that'll work just fine. There we go. All right. Let's So now he's kind of, oh, look at that big old elephant. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? All right, now we're talking. And I'm going to move him back. Was going to have two guys here in the foreground, but maybe I'll just have one. And he's down here in the corner. Maybe that's the best way to do it. That'd be a little more interesting. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at that. Oh yeah, look at that. He's crouched. He's about ready to attack. That's kind of neat. Yeah, I'm liking this now. All right, so I'm gonna create another layer right quick. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shade in, not shade in, but just sort of put some of this stuff up underneath here so we can differentiate them from the middle ground. So let me get, I got my brush that I want. Let me just blow it up. And yeah, there we go. Let's just do this so we don't have to look at what's behind it. Yeah. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Start blocking him in. He's like in a crouched position. About to doesn't know quite what to do. He just sees that big old elephant coming at him. He's like, ah, dang, man, I need to do something here. Yeah, well, time to get serious. Attack that guy. All right, let me merge those two layers. That'll be good enough for what we want to do. There we go. Like so. There we go. Just kind of clean it up a little bit. Let me work around with this this cape I got going on back here. That'll give us a little bit of dynamics. Let's say it's like bam, right? And it's fluttering here in the wind. Right? Right. There we go. Let me get a shade, get a little bit of shading on it though. Let me do that. Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah. There we go. All right, let me go back to my hard brush. It's more like a chalk brush this thing. All right. Got 5 people now watching. That ain't too bad. Usually takes a little bit of time for people to come in, especially here in the afternoons. You know, I'm doing this in the afternoon and people got work, you know. So most of the views, people come later on and check it out, see what's going on. All right. There we go, there we go. Yep. All right, get a little bit of light working in here. Cover up some of that stuff. There we go. And again, you know, I'm just putting this in for basically block reference, you know. It's like I'm just popping them in there. And again, this is concept art, so it ain't gonna be too detailed probably because it's in the foreground and it's not the important part, you know. What's important is everything going on up here with this girl. That's really what I want to stand out and pop. So as long as we do that, we will be good to go. bit of dark here. Just kind of touch some stuff in. Right. Yep. All right. Yeah. Kind of liking this. And probably what I'll do is I'm just going to block them in, and then we'll sit on it and think about it for till maybe our next one, and then we'll really detail it out as much as it needs to be for this piece. But for now, this is looking great. It's got all the information that I need there. Pretty much know what's going on with them. And that's the important thing. Just making sure that you get all the important information in there when you're drawing this. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Put a little bit more of this in here. See if let's go over to the chat, see what's going on. Let me get a little drink here. All right, so Twitter seems to tell me when you're live. Yeah, that's a good thing. We always post right before we go live to make sure that people know that we are going live, so we can try and get some people over here watching what's going on. And if you're just joining in, be sure to get on the mailing list. Excuse me for a sec. Still got a little lingering effect of something. It just doesn't seem to want to go away. But get on the mailing list. Hope y'all can get on the mailing list for the comic. Comic will be coming out in the spring. Check in on us. We need you on the mailing list so we know how many people are interested as soon as we go live. More people we have, the sooner we get on there. We got a question here. Do you develop characters on the fly? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I already have an idea in my head. Sometimes I go back to the sketchbooks and see what I've put in sketchbooks before. With this one here, I kind of have an idea of what they're going to look like. So I'm going to go with that. And really, at this stage in it, I'm just trying to get something that looks cool graphically. We're just trying to come up with something that looks cool graphically. And then we can kind of go back to it, and really detail it out. I think these guys have some ears coming out of here. Yeah, something like that, We'll have to, yeah. There we go, got some of that. So anyway, yeah, sometimes we do it on the fly, sometimes already have an idea in mind, but it doesn't really matter, If you do it as soon as you sit down, I mean, that's what doing concept art is all about. It's about just playing around and getting what you want, getting something that looks interesting to you. So that's what we're doing right here. Just trying to get something that looks interesting visually. And then we can kind of go back in and flesh it out later. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. Yep. And this one's kind of half and half. It's like I know what I want in my head, but then at the same time I'm doing a back view and I'm like, man, he needs to have something cool coming out the back, So that's why I was like, let's add like a cape or something like that. That'd be really cool. Capes are always cool. You can get them to flutter in the wind and do all sorts of stuff like that, So it's always fun. Get a little bit there. But anyway, we're going to get it to a certain point, and then we're going to move on to something else because I want to think about it for a little bit, you know, what I'm doing here. So you can always just kind of switch away and go to something else and think about what you're working on for a while, and then ideas will pop up in your mind and you'll be like, oh yeah, let me do that. That'll be cool. So for right now, I'm just kind of, yeah, like, okay, I got it blocked in. That'll be fine for now, you know. Let me get some more drink here, guys. Again, we got the drug of choice, sweet tea. Gotta get your sweet tea. That's what makes the world go around, in my opinion. Sweet tea. I know it's ridiculous. I'm sitting here laughing at my own joke, but hey, man, if that's what you like, that's what you like, you know? Yep. My favorite drink is sweet tea. All right. So let's zoom out. Kind of look at what we got going on there. That ain't too bad. Let's, I'm gonna lock the layers so that this little thing I'm gonna do right here, I want to darken them up a little bit with a different brush, with a more of a like a spray brush, you know. So what I do is I lock the layer here, and then it'll only go over the actual figure itself, you know, what we got on that layer. So yeah, see, there we go. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. All right. I still need to kind of come back in here and detail out a little bit of that too. You know, once you get something blocked in like this, you could also go back and lighten up the layer. Well, not that much, but sort of lighten the layer there and then draw over the top of it. That always is helpful. But I'm just leaving it here for now because that's fine. That looks like something we want. Now, if we go back to our original drawing, I had 2 figures in here, but I don't think I'm going to put 2 figures. But I am going to put this banner across the top here. I want them flags in there. So let's go ahead and work on that a little bit. Let me get my other brush here. Now let's just try and get this to where we're starting to look like a finished piece. And yeah. So what do we got here? I think I'm all. What happened there? For some reason this thing ain't working. Oh, I got it locked. What did I have that locked for? Okay, that's kind of nice, but let's try. Yeah, I kind of like that. But, well, I need to have a little more hang to it. You know, just draw it until you feel like it's starting to feel natural. And I feel like that's kind of natural right there. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is just going to draw my flags in here. Something like that, yeah. Yeah, that ain't bad. Draw it in like that. Now, let's go on to the other one. Let's see here. Do we have any more questions? All right, so First Films is asking, in production we work off scripts. Do you work off of scripts also? Well, when I actually get to working on the finished piece, you know, the actual pages for the comic book, right now we're just in development phase. But when I actually start working on the pages, I want the script completely done. That way I don't have to go back and say, you know, I changed this, I changed that. No, I want it completely done so that I don't have to guess anything. I know exactly what's going on. Oh, let me take a drink there. But there's nothing that says that you can't um, tweak it a little bit. There's nothing wrong with doing a few tweaks where it's like, oh, the action would be a little bit better if I drew it this way instead of the way it says in the script to draw it that way. Because once you actually start drawing it out visually, you start to see things that you weren't normally thinking when you were writing the script, you know. And um, I'm writing the script, and then my wife, Black Star, she's doing the editing and helping with finishing out the stories and stuff. So, you know, you got to have a few eyes on it. But anyway, that's what she's doing, and that'll be really, really helpful for me. Take that off there. Yeah, all right, let me zoom back in. So, oh, there. All right, let me zoom out just a little bit because I want to. All right. There's one flag. And this flag will be up and off the screen a little bit. That'll make the scene a little more interesting. And then maybe should we have one coming in over here? Maybe we'll do that. Right? That'd be kind of neat visually. You know, that's kind of neat right there. So let me turn that off. Okay. And we're going to do this one the same way we did the character down below. We're just going to put in a layer and fill it here. Blocking in. There we go. Nice and solid so we can work over it, no problems. That'll work just fine right there. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, so let's merge those layers together and go from there. Now what I'm going to do is I want to put a little bit of shade into this before I actually get started with detailing it out. So what I'll do is I'll take my big brush there, and I'm just going to, gotta lock the layer. There you go. All right. There we go. I think that'll work just fine. I already noticed we're screwed up a little bit here, so we're gonna go back and fix that. Just draw it in. There we go. Yeah, so this is, where it'd be hanging off there. Let me go ahead and erase that. There we go. There we go. No problem. All right. Do that. All right. Let's just sort of draw some detail-y stuff in here on this flag. And the light would probably be hitting that right there. So I'm gonna lighten that up. Let me put my space in. I probably should just save my brushes, but I mean, I don't. I know a lot of people. Let me lock that layer so I don't have to deal with any of that. There we go. There we go. Yep. Mm-hmm. And right now I'm just trying to put a little bit of texture work into it, just barely hitting it, beating it up a little bit here. These flags. There we go. Let me erase a little bit here. You gotta take the lock off though. And we might do that, yeah. There we go. All right. Put the layer lock back on. So this right here, in order to achieve this little bit of effect that I'm doing right here, I gotta sell this. So there we go. There we go. Now it looks like this part is flapping behind it, you know, because I put what's in front of it darker. And that's really the key to anything when you're doing this sort of stuff, is you make whatever's in front of something a little bit darker, right? That's why if you look at the elephant legs down here, that's lighter, while this uh, area right here is a little bit darker. So that's why I do that. Let's go down into here too and just detail some of that stuff. Looks like Black Star is telling me I need to do some more product reviews. All right, well, you know, we'll get to it. We'll do a little product review. It's actually relatable to what my regular job is. But when I'm not doing this sort of stuff, I do product design. So it's something that I know a little bit about. You know, it's easier to review a product if you know how things are made. So that's just one of the things that I do. All right, let me just get some more details over in here. Okay, that brush a little smaller. There we go. There. Yep. Love drawing this sort of stuff because, you know, it's kind of therapeutic because there's really no wrong way to do it. You just sort of kind of go in here and just do it, you know. Excuse me. I'm gonna put a few highlights here and there, right? All that. Let's go ahead and lock that layer down so I don't accidentally go off the reservation. There we go. There we go. I'll kind of bring it to life. It's funny, you just get a little bit of detail stuff in here and there, and really brings your piece alive. You know, you don't have to do much. Don't have to do much. Let's go in here. Let's try and get some detail-y stuff down in here too. You know, because this is rock. It's all rock down in here. There we go. Maybe blow it up a little bit there. There we go. Just putting a little bit of interesting stuff in there. Let's go look at a little texture to put on the rocks, maybe. Just want to put a little something in there to kind of change it up a little bit, you know. Oh. No, why are they doing that? No, this is a special brush, that's why. Gotta look out for them special brushes, you know. There we go. That's more what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. There we go. There we go. Well, that's starting to look like something. Get a little bit of texture down in there. All right, just a little hint of something. That'll help out a little bit. Mm-hmm. All right. So, there you go. Let me look over here in the chat, see what we got. You worked on a. We heard you worked on a video game. Is it similar to what you did? No, not necessarily. What I worked on Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle Earth 2, and I did some interface artwork for it. Let me get a drink here right quick. I did some interface illustrations, which was drawing the interface buttons, you know, the trigger points for the gameplay. That's what I did on it. It's just a one-time deal. And, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. You know, I'd like to do it again, but the problem is I didn't get hired to do it necessarily. I just got hired to replace somebody for a little bit. And the woman who normally did the job, she was having a child at the time, so you know, it was just for that one thing, and then there was no job to be had after that because the lady had her kid and she came back. So, great interview, by the way. Not sure I understand that one. Verse Films, maybe you can. Not sure what you're referencing to. Are you talking about the interview that I did with Black Star, where we talked about the book and everything? People can go back in the timeline and see that interview if that's what you're referring to. That was a good it was a good interview. It was my first one. You know, I've been interviewed for doing artwork before, you know, but never quite for this sort of thing, you know. All right, we got it on there. Yeah, there we go. Just gonna touch a few areas here. There we go. All right. Cool. Cool. Starting to look pretty interesting. Let me go up on these flags up here and try and put some of that stuff in. Get the right size brush. This will be kind of tricky because it's kind of going at a curve and an angle, so I gotta kind of, you know, might be a little too big. There we go. Don't necessarily. Let me space it just a little bit. That's too thin. Yeah, that's terrible. 2, no, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Well, that kind of looks like nothing. Let's see if we can do that a little bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that ain't too bad. That ain't too bad. Right, let's see what we can do here. This is gonna be a little bit bigger. So, yeah, see that's there we go. It's going off, and this will just, that's just kind of the bottom of that flag, so you can't really see it too much. That'll be okay. Right. Let me do a little bit of work here to these. Right. Get a little darker, a little lighter. There we go. There we go. A little darker there. Mm-hmm. There we go. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be quite so dark, but just throw it out there. Now, and I'm just trying to get a separation so that it stands out against the background. So that's why I'm getting that. And there's multiple ways you could do this. It's just this is the way I'm doing it here on this one. I could go in and adjust the layer. I could go up in here and adjust the levels or something like that and do it a little differently. But I want to get some texture in it at the same time as doing it. So I'm just going to do it this way. There we go. All right. There we go. Yeah, it's looking kind of nice. Let's see here. Black star. Just keeping me busy today. Do you pick colors that match exactly to what you want, or do you exaggerate them? I think you need to pick what you want, but at the same time, you need to exaggerate to make an interesting image. That's something that you pick or you start to look at once you're working on it, trying to get something that really pops. For example, blue sky can be blue or light blue, but in the comics, do you add different tones to be brighter? Well, it just matters upon the scene, If you got a lighting situation, whatever light and whatever's around an object will affect its color and its intensity. Time of day. Time of day is really important, But yeah, you just gotta kind of go in there and see what you can end up with, But you want it all to feel the same, be a part of especially if it's all one scene. You want to make sure that your whole scene is working together, so you want to keep things consistent. I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of ways you can attack that, doing different things. Well, we kind of got that in there, and we're starting to get a full picture now. It's starting to look pretty good. Let me go in here and work on this a little bit. Fill in the rest of this. There we go. Mm-hmm. Erase all that. Just clean it up a little bit before we say, I'm done with that. I don't want to work on it anymore. Yeah. There we go. pop out from beside itself there. All right. Get a little drink here. I think I got some stuff here in the background that I was wanting to kind of look at. Let's go back to I added a few more images in here from from the areas that I was interested in. This is neat. What I think I might end up doing is grabbing a little bit of this just to add something interesting in our piece here in the background. Oh, then copy that. Let me copy and paste. All right, I pasted it somewhere, but okay, maybe not. What's going on here? Oh, I got it on the wrong layer. Haha, wrong layer. Can't copy nothing. Gotta get it from somewhere. So let's take this elephant in this foreground. Let's kind of, oops. I'm just sort of going to plop in a little bit of something here. Erase. Get a nice big eraser. Kind of mess with the edges here because I don't want all of it. I just want maybe a little something to play with here. Maybe I'll make it a little smaller. And, yeah, that's fine. Like that, and then I'll. Hello. Oh, I got something popped up over here. That's the thing that stinks when you're working with multiple screens. Things will pop up on the other screen and you don't even see it. All right, there we go. Let me transform, edit, transform, flip, horizontal. Do that. So do something like that. All right, erase. There we go. Yeah, that's starting to look like something. All right, let me merge those together. Merge layers. And something I want to do, let's see here. I don't want to color burn. And maybe what all I'll do is I'll just kind of lighten it up a little bit. There we go. All right, we'll just do that. And then we'll just plop it in there. That'll be fine. Right. There we go. Now what we'll do is we'll go back and we'll work back into it. Yeah, because you don't want it to look like you're just pasting stuff in. You want it to be a part of the overall piece, you know. Let me get a little bit of a clone tool. I want to just get a little bit of this going up in here along this edge, along that ridge there. There we go. Just a little bit. Just to sort of add a little something. All right, now let's see what it looks like with that, with the foreground in there. Yeah, just a little something there. That's kind of neat. And then we'll go back in and we'll punch it up or bring it down. Let me get my big brush here. Brush. And what I want is a white. And I'm going to bring down the opacity a bit. Because I want to just, make it come back a little bit. All right, there you go. Just want to make that pop a little bit. That ain't too bad. kind of liking that actually. Let's go back to my regular brush. Put my spacing back in it. All right. And let's work on some of this back in here. Let's pull some of those shades, like Black Star was just asking, how do I pick the colors and tones and shades? Well, you know, I like what's going on here, so I'll just take my color picker there and work those, work that back into the background here and around it, you know, so we got stuff that all works together. Let's see here, bam, look at that. Yeah, that ain't too bad. Oh, my my brush started going wild on me. It was going too slow there. That was interesting. Mm-hmm. All right. That's neat. Let's go in somewhere. Let's look back in here. We got something odd going on back in here. Let's sort of work it in. Let me get my, yeah, we'll just do that and work it on down in here. There we go. Yep. I think what this is I've got some fog kind of coming up in here. So maybe what I'll do is I'll get one of my brushes that is smoke, you know. We'll just make it happen here. Mm-hmm. That ain't it. All right, Kyle. That ain't it. Let's go. There we go. That's something. No, that ain't it. Is that it? Oh, that ain't it either. Well, maybe I went right on past it. Is that it? No. Okay, so I've just blown right past it. There it is. I think that's it right there. There we go. Yep. All right. So that's a smoke brush right there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to work with it a little bit. There we go. You got that, and then let's lighten it up at the bottom there. There we go. All right. That, so we got some fog just sort of coming right up in here. All right. All right. That's kind of neat. Let's try and work some back in here too. Back behind it. Right. There we go. All right. Yep. I don't mind that one bit. Maybe go a little bit lighter, blow it up a little bit, and then we'll sort of have some down in here. There we go. I like that. Let's make this a little bit smoky here. We'll go back in and get some of those details going, but I really want to make the foreground stuff pop, you know. That's all right. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Hmm. Nice. Nice. All right. Yep. So what we got here? right. So we're about at an hour. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down for the day. Hope y'all enjoyed it. We got I think we moved along and progressed on it a lot today. Maybe we'll be to the point to where we are pretty much finished with this in probably 1 or 2 more episodes. We'll get on to something else. But this was fun, you know. Starting to get something that looks like something here. And I'd like to thank y'all for stopping by. Remember, go get on the Indiegogo mailing list. Really appreciate you. Sign up, you get some free goodies, and you get a discount day 1 of the campaign. So come on down, sign up for the mailing list, and we'll see you next time. Y'all have a good day now.